Probably like a lot of you guys, I used to have a corporate job. I was working the 9 to 5, probably more than 9 to 5, probably like 8 to 6 every day. Hated my work. I realized that I was in prison. I was a corporate drone. I wanted my freedom. I ended up reading a book, I don't know if you guys have read this yet, but I highly recommend it, called The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And in it, he talked about you could build an online business and have VAs and things like that run your business for you. Meaning you could make $100,000 more a year, and you only have to work 4 hours a week on that business. And when I read this, it blew my mind. I was just like, duh. It's so obvious. Like if I build this business, if I could make $100,000 a year, but only work 4 hours a week, that means that I'd have so much free time to go travel, to learn new hobbies, to do really whatever I want to do. And so once I learned about this, I decided that, all right, I'm gonna quit my job cold turkey, started a dance clothing business with my mom because it was an online business. It was something that could make a little bit of money, and that sucked. I spent years and years struggling trying to make money with that business because, it wasn't something I was passionate about. We're selling a lot of different items. We had our own online store, but at one point we started selling our items on Amazon, and we started to have some more success, but there was still a lot of headaches because we had so many different items that we were selling. And I met someone that started selling a single product on Amazon. It was a product that he was passionate about, and he was making easy money. He was making more money he was making about as much money as I was, but he had just started a few months ago. And I realized that if I created a single product, one product that I was passionate about and launched it on Amazon, I probably would have more success than with this dance clothing business. So that's what I did. I ended up starting this idea that this was Performance Not Butter back in the day. So I started working on it. I started an Instagram and just letting people know, hey, I'm thinking about starting this business. It started getting some traction and started getting followers. I did a Kickstarter, raised almost $15,000 in pre-sales. Now, most products aren't gonna be so expensive, but to start my product was $25,000. So I cashed out my 401k. I put every last drop of savings, everything I had into this business. And then I ended up launching it on Amazon. Over the course of about a month, we ended up getting way more sales. This was by my second month, was doing $30,000 in sales. Again, most of you guys know sales isn't profit, but when I subtract out product costs, Amazon fees, everything, it was around $10,000 profit. And then in my first year, I did over $360,000 in revenue, over $120,000 in profit. So I did it. It took me 5 years to get here. Within my first year of actually doing this method that we're gonna be teaching you guys, creating a passion product, I made over $100,000 in profit. But this is something we've repeated. I wonder if I could pull it up live on my phone here. But we recently launched a product called Carnivore Electrolytes. This product, let's see, I don't know if that's gonna work. In the last 30 days, we've done over $22,000 in sales. This has a higher profit margin. This has almost a 50% profit margin, and we've done over $10,000 profit. Meaning that we've repeated this, and we've done this over and over again. We did this with cocktail cards. AJ, I did it. So it's not just me. It's not like I have some magic. I taught AJ how to do this. AJ actually beat me. His first month, he did $50,000 in sales, $20,000 in profit. His first year, $500,000 in sales, over $178,000 in profit. Brent is another student. And by the way, I don't know if you guys see, but over here is just some of the students. I've got a wall that I'm looking at of all the successful students. Like, this isn't just me. There's been a ton of people here, but Brent specifically, he's done over $1.8 million in sales. Last year alone, I think he did over $1 million in sales. The point is, like, Brent's had way more, like, a lot of my students have had more success than me. Honestly, I'm hoping that means I'm a good teacher. It's not about how much money I can make. It's like, can my students make more? Can people that we're teaching make more? Andrew, $150,000, $40,000 profit. And this, if you actually include his revenue from wholesale in his website, it was over $300,000 in revenue. Mina, first year, $50,000. Mina's actually doing more now. He's doing like $140,000 per month and then $30,000 profit. He also sells electrolytes, funny enough. Here's my goal for you guys. My goal for you is to help you to make an extra $10,000 profit per month in the next 6 months. So 6 months from now, you'll be making an extra $10,000 profit per month. Now, obviously I can't guarantee that. Like, that's what I'm hoping for. But my question to you is, if you were able to make just an extra $1,000, would it be worth it? Would you start your own online business? One thing I want you to think about for a second is, if you were making an extra $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 extra a year. What would you do? Would you go to nice restaurants? Would you, maybe order double meat at Chipotle? Or would you go on a vacation? Would you pay off some of your loans or debt? What would an extra $12,000 a month mean for you? Or $12,000 a year? Obviously, what would an extra $100,000 a year? What if you were making an extra $1 million? What if you were making $1 million a year? Like, how different is your life? My real goal from you is that money's no longer holding you back. that you don't ever think about what you're gonna order at a restaurant. You don't think about where you're going for vacation because of the price. I have a lot of friends that still are like, oh, I don't know, that sounds expensive. And I'm like, who cares? It's $30 to go to this yoga class. Like, I want you to get to the point that I've been able to experience and I'm very grateful for, which is like money isn't a factor. It doesn't hold me back. And I don't think it should hold you back either. And that's why I teach all of this. So let's talk quickly about how to guarantee success with Amazon FBA. The first thing is you need to follow a plan. The only way as humans we're gonna have success is if we follow some kind of a plan. Now, I'm not saying you can't blaze your own trail. It takes a lot more energy. It's a lot more guaranteed if you follow a step-by-step plan. Next thing is find a mentor. Find someone, and it doesn't have to be me. I'm here for you. If you want help, it doesn't have to be me, but as a human, if you want to guarantee success at anything, you should find someone that's already done the thing that you want to do. And that's going to allow you, when you get stuck, the mentor is able to see things from a higher level perspective. It's going to allow you to ask questions. They're going to see things that you're not able to see. Also, I recommend finding a group of peers. This is something, as I've been learning new things in my life, I always try to find a group of people that are also learning the same things. They can point out mistakes that I'm making that I might not be aware of. It's also just emotional and moral support. Because I'm going to be the first to tell you, entrepreneurship can be very lonely. Most people probably don't even have friends that are entrepreneurs. So I would recommend really actively trying to find a group. And we'll talk about this, but obviously if you join the Amazon FBA program, we've got a group for you. It gets you a mentor. We got a plan. We've got all these things for you. But here's a big thing that a lot of people don't think about. When I've seen the most success in my life, it's when I commit. What does it mean to commit? With Performance Nut Butter, my first Amazon business, committing meant spending $3,500 on getting a video for our Kickstarter. Now, you don't need to pay $3,500 to get a video for your Kickstarter, but I put my money where my mouth was. I said, I'm gonna invest this $3,500 to get a video for the Kickstarter. When I did that, it guaranteed that I was gonna have success because I wasn't gonna quit when things get hard. Most people quit as soon as things get a little bit difficult. And so you gotta think, how can you trick yourself into not quitting when things get difficult? And one of the biggest ways I personally like to do it is putting money on the line. Right now, I have a certain goal that I'm trying to hit in my life. And I told my friend, I will burn $1,000 in front of him if I don't hit my goal. Obviously, that means I'm gonna hit my goal. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to hit my goal because I don't like wasting money. I'm not gonna burn $1,000. And so instead of you burning $1,000, one thing that you could do, and I'd recommend, is joining a program, paying money to say, I've committed to joining an Amazon FBA program. And I've noticed that anytime I want to learn something, I'll pay for coaches, for instance. I was trying to learn surfing and I was failing year after year. I wasn't learning. And then what I did is I prepaid for 10 lessons. I paid $1,000 for surfing lessons, 10 lessons up front, and said, you're going to keep this money whether I show up or not. And I did. I showed up and I learned how to surf by the end of last summer because I put my money where my mouth was. But still, even if you follow all these things, it's only gonna work if you take action. You actually need to take the steps and you need to do the work. There's two big approaches we're gonna talk about here. The lone wolf approach is what most people are trying to do. These are the people that never ask for help. They try to figure out everything on their own and they don't talk about the challenges with anyone. The lone wolf mentality is old school. It's not how humans evolved. We're tribal creatures. We need mentors. We need support from others. That's one of the coolest things about being a human is that we learn from other people. We're able to pass down lessons from the generations. The only reason we're able to grow is because we're standing on the shoulder of giants. So yeah, most people that follow the lone wolf, they get slow results, if any. I mean, look, it took me 5 years before I discovered the passion product formula. If someone would have given me this formula from day one, I would have millions of extra dollars right now. But it took me 5 years before I was able to figure that out. So what I recommend instead is our approach, the passion product approach. And this is where you get to ask anytime you have a question. We have a weekly Q&A call that you get to go to, and this is like one of the Zoom meetings. So when you join the program, you get to ask people, you get to ask coaches for help. You get to leverage other people's experience. You can also get access to a group, which means maximum accountability, and you can share your frustrations and challenges. We have screen recorded step-by-step lessons showing you every aspect of starting your business. I go into way more detail in the course than I ever do in the YouTube channel. The reason is some of the stuff about how you actually start your business, there's nitty-gritty details that aren't fun. On YouTube, I only share the fun stuff. I share like the high level things. If I tell people, hey, here's all the steps necessary to find a manufacturer, sometimes people are like, that's boring. But the boring stuff is where you make the money. The people that aren't willing to go through a little bit of the boring stuff, and honestly, it's kind of fun once you know how to do it. The people that aren't willing to do that, they're never gonna have success. The benefits of joining the passion product formula is faster and better results, more excitement, less frustration and stress. You need the right kind of system if you want to generate these results. And the passion product formula has been proven by me multiple times now, multiple businesses. Students have replicated this, really everyone. And what I believe that you deserve, more money and time to do the things that you want to do. I don't want you to have to worry about how you're going to pay for your dream life. I want you to be able to go on a vacation, go to the nicest hotel, eat at the nicest restaurants, but also like not work when you don't want to work. Like that's one of the good things, the place that I'm at now, and a lot of my students are at. If I want to just take the day off and go to the beach, I live right across the street from the beach. If I want to go to the beach, go to the beach. It doesn't matter because I'm getting passive income every single day. I mean, look, this carnivore electrolytes business, it's making like $300, $400 a day. We don't do anything for it. All we do is we order some more inventory from the manufacturer. Yeah, I really do think that the future of humanity is we're gonna all have businesses that are making us money while we sleep. I think that you deserve to have something that when you do want to work, because I like working, and I hope that you also enjoy working from time to time. When you do want to work though, it's gotta be fun. No one likes working on things that are boring. My goal is to help you to create a product that when you do work, it's fun. When you don't want to work, it's still making you money. So my question to you is, will you join my Amazon FBA program? Here's everything that it includes. It's got over 117 step-by-step lessons, and we're actually adding new lessons all the time. That number's probably even higher now. That alone, I see a lot of courses out there that's all they offer, and they're $1,000 course. I'm the kind of person that if you're gonna join my program, I wanna give you so much freaking value that it's a no-brainer. So we get live weekly Q&A. Honestly, right now, we're still doing lifetime access to the Q&A call. We're probably gonna have to cap that to 1 year eventually, but whatever. If you guys join today, you get locked in with the lifetime weekly Q&A access, lifetime access to a private Facebook mastermind membership. Also probably gonna eventually change that, but if you join today, you get grandfathered into that. We'll probably eventually do it as like a $97 a month after your first year, whatever. You don't have to worry about that if you join. Step-by-step checklists to start your business, free one-on-one coaching sessions. We also give you access to all these other bonus courses. People that get stuck in analysis paralysis, people that procrastinate, they end up not having as much success. The reason that I have to charge for a program like this is people don't value things that are free. As I mentioned earlier, if something's free, oftentimes people don't do the work. So I want you to put your money where your mouth is. On average, on Amazon, about 43% of Amazon sellers make at least $100,000. People always ask me, what's the percentage success rate with your program? And my answer is 100% of the people that do the work. It's like asking, what's the success rate of people that diet and exercise? Well, it's 100% of the people that do the work. Now you could ask what percentage of people do the work, and I'm like, well, that's really it's up to them. Obviously, my goal is to try to make it as easy as possible. What I'm guaranteeing is if you do the work, you'll have success. Now, maybe your first product isn't that $100,000 profit product. That's not what's important to me. What's important is, okay, you learn your lessons. We help you. We help figure out, okay, what went wrong. And then your second product is that $100,000 product. Or maybe you launch one product and it's only making $30,000 profit a year. Cool. Do that 2 more times and you're basically at $100,000. What you're learning is the skill of how to make money, and then all you gotta do is do that again. If I could make $100,000 a year, and basically that's a salary. That's like a good salary. Again, I mean this in the most humble way, I don't mean to brag kind of thing, but my goal was 100,000, doing over $1 million in profit a year now. And that's just cool. Like, as you make more money, you start being like, oh, it would be nice to make more. I'm at a point now where more money doesn't mean anything. Like, not that it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't change my lifestyle, but 100,000 is enough to live a very comfortable life while traveling and doing all the things you want. If you want to live in Iowa, or if you want to live in Thailand, it might be a completely different numbers. Or if you want to live where I'm living now, like now, just to sustain my lifestyle, it probably would need to be $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year. People not doing the proper product research, like I talk a little bit about it on my YouTube channel, but validating the product's a really big thing. We go into depth. We have a whole module, I think a couple hours, that we talk about how do you guarantee that your product's going to have success. And if that's something you're worried about, honestly, stop. That's my, cold stop. Go through the validation module. You don't need to guess. We have tools that you can use that'll tell you whether or not your product's gonna be successful. The biggest reason people's products aren't successful is they never freaking launch it. I mean, my dad invented protein pancakes. Later, he's like, there were some protein pancakes on Shark Tank that was making millions of dollars. He's like, that was my idea. They stole my idea. He's joking, kind of. But the truth is, if he would have launched that product, he would have been making millions of dollars a year. And he was upset that someone else beat him to it. in my second year selling performance nut butter, competitors did come into the market and I was a little scared. I'm like, oh no, they're gonna steal my business. But what no one told me is they were spending a ton of money on advertising. They were educating people that you should buy a nut butter product. And so what ended up happening, my sales increased because I was, like Connor said, I was the #1 person in that category. And people were coming in like, oh, I heard about this super nut butter, but oh, wait a minute, performance nut butter is actually more highly rated. I'll buy that instead. I wouldn't be super worried about that. There are times where that can be an issue, but if you follow our methodology, it's not really, that's not an issue. If money's an issue, you can always do a Kickstarter. You can raise 100% of the money from a Kickstarter, let's say 0, all the way up to, on average, I'd say $2,500 to $5,000 people are spending to get started, right around there. I'd say let's call it like 5,000 average. There are some products that end up being 10,000, but like as you saw, I raised $15,000 on Kickstarter. You know, a lot of the students have raised way more than that. Brent raised 15,000. Andrew, I think, raised 15,000. AJ raised 100,000. You can always do smaller production runs just to test the water. Buy the program once, have as much success as possible. So this is our focus. This is the main thing that we do, is creating this program, and all our energy goes into that. Click on the link now, bookmark it. We've got limited spaces left. I want to see you as a success story on this wall behind, and maybe hopefully on the channel sometime soon. So thank you again. And yeah, I think we're good.